Well, hello there everyone, this is I Am Mark III, and welcome back to the barren wastelands of Crossout. I'm here to show you another vehicle, excuse me, another vehicle that I've been working on. It was the prototype that appeared in the background in my previous video, which I've been trying to refine and get working, but I have run into various problems with it. Still, it looks nice, so that's what I'm going to be showcasing in this particular video, and along with some gameplay and explaining why it's a bad idea. This is the Inline. I've called it that because of this slender nose-mounted arrangements, which makes it look very streamlined. I know it's open at the back because this is just one of the prototypes, so ignore that. The concept of this vehicle is that I wanted to have these two large treads at the front, mounted on a kind of in this very narrow profile. As you can see, it's got a gap straight down the middle of it, and that's because it's mounted on these side pieces instead, which has split the frame up around the tracks. This is good for this bulky, streamlined appearance. You know, it's the sides just sweep back like that, the top is just rounded off like that, and the back of the vehicle just raises up over the top. But the problem with it is, of course, if you get into this and just blow these off, then you've got these pieces of the frame here which are very vulnerable, and they're not that well armoured either, so knock one off, the entire track comes off. That's problem one. Let's put all those back on it. There we go. So that means it is actually unusually fragile for how much power score it takes, how many parts it takes to build this particular kind of vehicle. The other problem is the game is not really built to have tracks so close together. This is one of my attempts to get around that by having twin tracks at the rear, because I wanted to make a quad-tracked vehicle, but yeah, let's take it onto the test drive and show you exactly why this arrangement is bad. Yep, it can move forward quite nicely. Fair speed on it, that's nice. It comes to a halt immediately, but let's show you the slight problem with it, shall we? Yes, yes. This is what the vehicle does when it tries to turn. The treads spin in place. Because of these front treads being so close together, it's overcoming any turning force the vehicle would be generating, and so it just, with these tracks, it just can't flip in turn at all. So yeah, it's kind of useless like that. That is the biggest flaw with it, really. But I've got two other versions to show off. I've got this finished one here, which actually uses wheels instead, and is actually potentially viable. It's built around the same cab, but I was also trying to make another one, which is this more streamlined version, the flat inline, I suppose you could call it. Yes, want to load that? Thank you. Now, in this vehicle I have dismounted the big cabin that was giving it power. I've also torn off the generator, and it's still got its engine. And because I'm trying to balance it on just these two tracks for its entire mobility, I fitted it with machine guns as its weapon because of lack of power, and I've extended some parts out here to get a forward ram to try and balance the weight of the vehicle. It's a very odd vehicle, I suppose you could say. It can actually turn, which is quite important. It turns in an odd way though, because of how close together the tracks are. It doesn't look like it should work, but it does. It rolls around, it's okay. But when you try to turn, it just slews incredibly fast like that, because one of the tracks just loses traction and the entire thing spins out of control effectively. Precise turning in any degree of speed is just, yeah, it's not really possible when you're trying to move it. On top of that, the ramming is not really that good either. But this thing is built more for fighting at an angle than straight on. It can't really ram to save its life, it's too slow, and it's actually fairly light. And yeah, oops, there it goes, turning. Yeah, and I was just trying to bring it under control, and it actually spun at over 180 degrees before it could actually come back under control. So this thing is unstable, to say the least. let's quickly throw it into a battle and show you how well it performs. Okay, and here we are, about to bring the Inline into this fight and show you what it can do. This vehicle, I must point out, actually is considerably cheaper than its finished version because the other one has more weaponry, more power, and it's got a very distinctive and odd profile compared to most vehicles that you see in this actual game. Because it's very odd, it's very narrow. So it tends to get a few looks whenever people actually see it. I think there's more, it's either they're looking at it going, what is that? Or they're looking at it and going, I can't believe someone brought that into a fight. Both of which are actually completely viable. There's someone over there. I'm going to come around behind him. Oops. Yep, there's the turning I told you of. Oh, what? Oh, that's a rocket he's got. Ow. Okay, I've already lost all the armouring on my left side. And there is the problem with this particular vehicle. The armour got punched through, which exposed the frame of this vehicle. Then the frame was blown off, and I actually lost my left track. So as you can see, just from that brief engagement, I have already been crippled, and this guy can't seem to believe what he's seeing. Yep, he's turning me to try and let me be helpful, but I'm sorry, mate, I am not much use at all in this particular vehicle. Oh, thank you. He's helping me actually get places. Yeah, let's go see if we can actually cap something together, shall we? Oh, yep, now I'm spinning out of control. Oh well, he's brought me along, so my guns can be of very little use, actually. Ah, you have to kill me first, ha. Yeah, I feel sorry for that guy. He was kind enough to bring me along, and I have managed to help him in my death throes, basically. But now my vehicle is even more crippled, and it's not much left to it at all. Oh, I do appreciate it, but I'm actually more stable going in reverse. I think he wants the help capturing, really, yeah. Oh dear. Yep, come on, I'll back up this way. Backing up. This is kind of embarrassing. I'm being brought along by him. I think he's realised I'm more stable going in reverse. So I'm just pushing for this capture point with him. Oh, we've won anyway. Wow. Okay, I'm not sure how that happened, but the Inline somehow helped to bring a victory, and I'm not entirely sure how. Because this vehicle is actually more or less worthless. It got crippled very early on, the machine guns aren't too great. For its power score, it is actually ridiculously underpowered and fragile. So, yeah. That version of the Inline is not very good at all, for all it looks nice. Let's let's delete that. Save it as the Inline Slim. Yeah, so it's a distinctively looking one, but it's not that good. So I'm just going to share it like that. If anyone really wants to see it and see how bad that track arrangement really is, because it seriously is that. It's just horrendous. But yeah, I'll load the actual Inline now. In this one I have modified it by taking the slim pieces from behind these tracks into larger ones. It's still slim behind the armour. And I've widened this bed here to mount a couple of steering wheels on the back, as well as actually armoured the generator and engine slightly. So it's a bit more durable. It's actually a cannon carrier, just over 4,000 power score total, and it is it handles better than the previous version. I'll say that for it. I mean, it's actually got it can't turn in place because, well, I don't think it can anyway. Yeah, it can't because the wheels actually provide too much traction for the treads to overcome when they're so close together. But it can actually turn a bit more controllably when it's in general use. Though it can still, if you lose it, it will spin wildly out of control on slopes and things like that. Whoops. Yeah. So yeah, it's still not great, but it's better than the previous one. Though it is a bigger target as well. Since it's a cannon carrier, it's got twin 78mm cannons. You know, nothing too fancy. They also don't have extra ammunition packs in them either, so they're limited to just 12 salvos in total. Though, like my previous design, it also has the backup machine gun just for poking at people, and so that it's not completely useless once its ammunition has run out. Yeah, 1 damage, and there goes the tread on it. So yeah, the front treads are still extremely vulnerable. But losing the one tread won't actually cripple it like it did the previous version. So yeah, let's get some battle footage of this one then, shall we? Okay, here we go. I am actually the high value on my team. The other team has more high value players, and no doubt they're actually in proper vehicles, so odds are we're going to lose this one. But this should be some decent footage of how the Inline performs in this particular configuration. It's still very odd, a bit of slender design. Watch out. I think Samantha's an AI, but I'm not sure. No, that's not an AI vehicle, and I don't know who that is. But yeah, I'm going to be playing as a cannon carrier. It's mid-range, I think, because I have got some armour. I can take some knocks. I'm just not that powerful over... Oh, watch it. Jeez. I actually hit someone with that. I didn't actually target properly, so, you know. Yeah, as you can see, I'm just sitting here, and my armour on the nose is actually doing some good for me. But it's more of a damage sponge kind of thing, with the treads out in front if it's in line. Ooh, but yeah, now they're getting close, they're actually causing some serious damage. I can turn for this, I can still deal with you! And there's the oversteer. Jeez. I oversteered, I couldn't fire properly, and now it's just me with my machine gun. And this guy, Mars Fungood, is just watching me flail all over the place while firing at him with machine guns, and I don't think he really knows what to do with me, because I'm just being a massive distraction more than anything else. Oh dear. There goes my last tracks, and I'm actually completely stuck now. Whoops. And yeah, I'm dead. Yeah, the Inline was... it's held up better than the previous one, you know, the slim one. It did okay, but it's still too vulnerable. Once the tracks go, it is more or less crippled. Losing both tracks was actually what was required to completely stop it. So I don't think it can survive it losing one track and one wheel, or losing both wheels, because it'll move around much like the previous one did. But also I was pretty much useless in that fight because of how bad the Inline just is in general. It's a clown car basically. It looks good, but it can't really do much of anything. I'll do one more battle, see if I can do a bit better with it this time round, but I am not really holding out many hopes, because this is... the Inline doesn't really know what it wants to be. It wants to be a sleek looking vehicle. Yes. It carries cannons for heavy punch. Yes. It's got armour. Yes. But the sheer layout of this design is just terrible. If it starts taking enemy fire, it is just horribly vulnerable, and won't. And it'll drive into a rock as well if you're not careful. Oops. Yep. It skidded it even on a small turn. Yep. Come on. Honestly, with this car, you're fighting the vehicle itself rather than the opponent more often than not, and that is not in a good way. It's also slow because it's track-based, and it just doesn't have the staying power to make that worthwhile. Oh, there's someone over there. Ah, missed. Ah, missed. Never mind, I'm going to go down to the capture point and see what I can do with that, because that is arguably the best I can do with this vehicle. Yes. I skidded and completely lost it. Wow. I honestly don't know what possessed me to build this thing. Oh yes I do, it's because I wanted to try out that track configuration at the front. But it's just not good enough. Jeez. Yeah, I spun out because I came down a slope. This is bad. This is so bad. Oops. Come on, keep it under control. I need to get... No! Don't go turning that way! Jeez. No. Oh. Well, that's one point in its favour. Wide base at the bottom. It doesn't tend to flip over that easily. But I'm going to just keep on... Oh, hello, David. The wild slewing can also let it turn effectively as well. So it can come around if you turn the opposite direction effectively. Which is still not great. Come on, David, are you going to give me a kill? Because I need to kill something in this vehicle to prove it's not worthless. Hey, I killed someone! Best vehicle ever. 5 stars out of 5. No, it's just still absolutely terrible. I'll leave him to that. This is just, yeah. I'm sorry. I wanted to show commentary, I want to show gameplay, but this vehicle is slow, it is heavy, it is not controlled right, and I'm honestly laughing. Oops! Yeah, even the slightest turn, it just spins out. It is just bad. Really, really bad. It did better than the previous battle, but jeez, I do not want to use this thing again. I'm actually going to scrap this design completely and get rid of it because it's just yeah. It looks good. It doesn't move good, and it's not durable. That boils this entire design down in a nutshell. So yeah, I'm going to upload this one as well if anyone wants to have a look at it, and my horrible missteps with this design, because it is just completely worthless. Yes, there's the timer going off. But yes, that is the Inline, ladies and gentlemen. Possibly one of the worst actually mobile, actually capable vehicles in the game, as far as I'm concerned, and I'll be glad to see the back of it, really. So I'm just gonna, yeah, die, you fiend, die, you spawn of Satan. You will not darken my garage again. You are just that bad. This is Iron Mark 3. I hope you enjoyed watching me just showing you a whole load of nothing, basically, because that was it'd be better to forget that you ever saw that thing, if I'm quite honest with you. So yeah, it's Iron Mark 3. Thanks for watching. I hope you weren't driven to insanity by this video, and I'll catch you some other time. See you later.